If you're new to S Corps or if you have an S Corp, you're very familiar with the word reasonable compensation. In this video, I want to go over exactly how I determine reasonable compensation for my clients and why you should have a reasonable compensation if your business is an S corporation. Before I get started, my name is Jeanette Andrada. I help therapists in private practice worry less about taxes and focus more on helping their clients. Let's first talk about two terms that you need to be familiar with. The two terms that you need to be very familiar with are your wages or your salary and your distributions. The first one that we're going to discuss is your S Corp wages or your salary. If you are used to working for a company and you receive a W-2, meaning that you receive a paycheck and they already take out the taxes and withholding, then you are on a salary or you get paid in wages. As the owner of an S corporation, you are automatically categorized as an employee of the business. So you really want to start separating yourself from your business. You are no longer your business. Your business, it's its own entity, which is a corporation. The corporation has hired you as a therapist to do work for the corporation. The next part we want to talk about are the distributions. This is a different way that you are going to pay yourself or could pay yourself through your S corporation. With distributions, I mean that you are able to take out from your profits to pay yourself. So rather than running it through a payroll or a W-2, you have the ability of withdrawing money from your business bank account as a distribution. This is very important, and especially realizing that as a W-2 salary, you are paying Medicare and Social Security on those wages, whereas a distribution, you don't pay Social Security or Medicare on any money that you take out. So in a sense, it is tax-free to take out distributions. You still pay income taxes, but you won't be paying Social Security or Medicare. That percentage is 15.3%. So if you could imagine, that is a huge tax savings if you could minimize your salary and increase your distributions. As you could imagine, the IRS completely frowns on you taking only distributions because you're not paying Social Security or Medicare taxes on your distributions. And this is one way that a lot of people try to cheat the system, or they might not even realize that they're doing this. Now, the question is, how much do you pay yourself? So what is a reasonable compensation? That is probably one of the trickiest things when it comes to S corporation, in my opinion, because there's not an exact figure, and the guidance that they do provide is completely up to interpretation. IRS essentially wants you to pay yourself a W-2 salary that you would be paying to somebody else performing the same type of services for your business. Hey guys, so I'm rewatching my video and making edits to my video, and one thing that I noticed I did not talk about is that reasonable compensation is not necessary if you're not taking distribution. The IRS only requires a W-2 salary if you are taking distributions. So if you're just getting started and you don't have enough money to pay yourself on a salary, then you are more than welcome to not pay yourself that salary. However, you have to keep in mind that you should not be taking distributions either. So one might think, like, let's just go on salary.com and we're going to search up family therapists in California. You are going to get results. However, you're not going to get detailed results of your actual duties. You would not have the same administrative tasks that you would as an employee, right? As a business owner, you might be doing your marketing, you're doing your own bookkeeping, you might be scheduling appointments, you might be answering phone calls or answering emails. So it's not necessarily the same as an employee. The approach that I like to take is the many hats approach. The many hats approach takes into consideration all the things you do outside of being a therapist. Remember, the goal is to get that number as low as possible, but still within reason. So I'm going to give you an example that is a general example, but this is a report that I provide to my clients, and this is exactly what I do to determine what my clients should be paying themselves. This is, again, exactly what I provide to my clients when helping them determine a reasonable compensation. Within this report, before, I am taking many things into consideration with the amount of hours that they're working, just depending on, what their caseload is and what percentage they're spending on administrative tasks versus their actual therapy sessions. In this case, our reasonable compensation is $33,000. Now you might be thinking like, I can't live off of $33,000, which is a perfectly good statement to make. But remember, we have distribution. So if you want to be at $80,000 and what you want to take home or what you want to be making, then you pay yourself $33,000 through payroll, and then you pay yourself the difference, the 47,000 you pay yourself in distribution. So you see, you're still getting the same amount. It's just the way that we're splitting it. The 33,000 is being taxed. The 47,000 is not being taxed for Social Security and Medicare. So this is going to make a big difference. Again, you're paying 15.3%. So if we take the 33,000 times 15.3, let's go ahead and do some quick math. And these are just general numbers. Of course, there are other things to take into consideration, but just to give you a rough estimate. So if you do, so you're looking at about $5,000 that you would pay in Social Security and Medicare. So versus, like, let's say we did the 80,000. That's 12,000. So like $6,000-ish in savings just because we reduced your reasonable compensation. Guys, these are the little things that are going to help save you thousands of dollars. So make sure you're consulting with a tax professional, me included. So if you need help with reasonable compensation, go to my storefront. You will be able to place an order for a reasonable compensation report. We will send you a questionnaire that will ask you certain questions, and using that information, we're going to provide you a report just like the one I shared with you. And then you could use this as justification if the IRS ever comes back and questions why you pay yourself what you pay yourself. Of course, if you need additional, more personalized help and you need to meet with someone, please feel free to schedule a strategy session with me. I take 15 minutes to ask you questions, get to know you a little bit better, and determine how I could help you and what would be a good solution for your specific situation. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.